I must deal with him. I must make him sweat blood, Mantili said. He decided never to forgive his brother for making him miss the opportunity of marrying the love of his life, Susuti. Tandime and Mantili were two brothers who lived together after their father passed on. Mantili became very lazy and refused to get a job, refused to get animals, refused to work on the farm. While his elder brother Tandime, who was very hardworking, became very successful after a while. And whenever he tried to advise Mantili, his brother, to get a job, his brother would tell him, "Tandime, my big brother, why should I pour water into a well? You make the money, I spend the money. After all, we are bloodlines." The only thing Tandime did every day was roam around the village making trouble. And then in the evening, he will visit his girlfriend Susuti and go back home at night to eat. His elder brother did everything to no avail. One day, he looked at his beautiful girlfriend and said, "Susuti, Susuti, I have decided to make you my wife." He asked Susuti to marry him and Susuti agreed to be his bride. The next day, as it was the custom in their village, that whenever a man asks a woman to marry her, the father of the woman will go over to the father of the man to ask if he was in support of the marriage. And because Mantili didn't have a father, Tandime was standing in place as his father. Susuti's father visited him that morning and said, "I greet you, my son. As it is the custom, your brother Mantili has asked my daughter Susuti to marry him. Are you in support? Do you agree?" Tandime said, "Great one, I greet you. As we all know, my brother Mantili is not yet a man. You know he has no job. He has no farmland. He has no animals. If he marries your daughter, how will he feed her? Or is he marrying her for me to feed him and feed his wife as well? Who feeds their children when they begin to have children? Great one, I think we should still give Mantili a little time to grow up and become a man." That was the answer Tandime gave to Susuti's father that annoyed Mantili, and he vowed that he would deal mercilessly with his brother. "I will revenge," he kept on saying. The next morning he woke up and people saw him with a bag. Nobody knew what he was going to do, but by evening time he had disappeared. Mantili decided to visit the great Bamfula, the powerful rock that lives in the deep forest. Bamfula was known to be a god that people visited whenever they had problems, and he gives them special powers. He gives them money. People looking for children, people looking for wealth, sick people, everybody that had a problem visited the great Bamfula, and they always came back with solution. No matter what you take to Bamfula, good or bad, he will grant your request. But Bamfula's major mission on earth was to help people carry out revenge. With determination in his heart, Mantili journeyed through the thick forest for days and nights, and before long, he arrived before the great Bamfula. Surprisingly, the journey wasn't as difficult as people had once said. Standing in front of the great Bamfula, Bamfula asked him, "What do you want, my son? What brings you before the great Bamfula?" "Vengeance!" he shouted. "I must revenge the wickedness that my brother showed me. I must revenge Bamfula." "I will help you," Bamfula said. "The best way to revenge, my son, is to become rich. I will give you wealth. I will give you money. I will give you knowledge and power. Power to create tools that will solve people's problems. You will help people travel faster. You will help people talk to their relatives far and near. I will teach you how to help people store farm produce for years without getting spoiled. Oh, Mantili, I will make you great and famous. People will come from far and near to see you. I will make you rich, 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 very rich. And then your brother will be at your mercy. Your brother will be under your feet. And then you can marry as many Susutis as you like. I will give you power, Bamfula told him. No, 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 Mantili shouted. I did not come here for that. I did not come here to solve anybody's problem. Give me power to deal with Tandime. Give me power to destroy his pride and wickedness. I want to make him poor. I want him to be the symbol of poverty in Ikugala village, where I come from. I want you to make him suffer. This is my wish. This is my wish, Mantili said. Bamfula was disappointed. He tried so much to convince Mantili to no avail. And then finally, Bamfula decided to grant his wish. I will grant your wish, he said. I will give you power to deal with your brother. But what will you pay me in return? He asked. Payments? Mantili thought. I will give you anything, just give me power. I agree, Bamfula said. I will give you power, but in return, I will take 10 years out of your life. Yes, Mantili shouted. What is 10 years compared to what I have come to ask you for? Take it, I give you willingly. Bamfula asked him, close your eyes and open your hands. Bamfula placed a big bag in his hands, and immediately a thick cloud gathered and Mantili fell into a deep sleep. After a while, Mantili woke up, but he felt a little weaker. He didn't feel as strong as he was. He turned to Bamfula and said, Goodbye, great one. May I never see you again. Mantili left, feeling happy. As he was going, he got to the center of the forest and saw a thick cloud in front of him. He knew he had no option. If he must continue his journey, he must pass through the cloud. He summoned courage and entered into the cloud. Immediately he came out, he appeared in the land of the birds, and they told him, Oh Mantili, if you must continue this your journey, you must follow us to see the king of the birds. She has a message for you. Where is she? Mantili asked. Take me there quickly, I don't have time. As soon as they appear in front of the kings of the bird, he told him, Mantili, I understand that you want to punish your brother. You seek vengeance to make your brother poor. Yes, Mantili answered him. Well, what Bamfula did not tell you is that the gods have favored your brother Tandime. And even if you make him poor, people will still find favor and bless him. If he doesn't work, Tandime will still have food and money. But I can help you. I can give you this dark cloud to cover him so that nobody will see him to bless him. Mantili thought for a while, if I cover my brother with this dark cloud, nobody will bless him. Give me the cloud, Mantili told the king of the birds. The bird said, I will give you the cloud, but you must give me something. Anything you want, I will give to you. Just give me the cloud and let me go, Mantili answered in a haste. I want 20 years out of your life, the king of the bird told him. Mantili paused and thought for a while. I will give you. Just give me the cloud and let me cover that wicked Tandime, my brother. The king of the birds dropped a golden egg on his hand. Immediately the egg touched Mantili's hand, he fell into a deep sleep. After a while, he woke up, feeling weaker than he was when he slept. But he didn't mind. He put the egg in his bag and continued on his journey. After a few days, in the middle of the forest, Mantili saw a beautiful damsel. She was too beautiful for him to ignore. "Mantili, Mantili," she said, "come and spend a little time with me. I will make you happy. I will calm you and make you relax from the stress of this your journey." Mantili couldn't take his eyes off the woman, and he followed her. He stayed with the woman. She pampered him and took great care of him, gave him food, gave him wine, and he was happy. After a little while, he asked her, "It's already 10 days, right? I need to be on my journey. I mustn't get so used to this your love and care, so I don't forget my quest." 10 days, the maiden asked. "No, Mantili. In the land of the forest, we do not count time like you do in the world. It's been 10 years, my dear Mantili." "What? 10 years?" Mantili screamed. "How did I stay here for 10 years and you never grew old? I looked at you every day and you never changed in my eyes." Mantili, I have been this way for ages and I will continue to be this way." Out of shock and anger, Mantili packed his bag and continued on his journey. "How could I have spent 10 years? It seemed like 10 days," he said to himself. And he continued on his quest to deal with his brother, Tandime. Few days into his journey, he felt thirsty and suddenly he found a large river. "Oh, water at last," he said. He ran to the front of the river to drink water, and immediately a fish appeared from the river. "Tandime, your brother is still rich, and there is nothing you can do to make him poor," the fish told him. "You are wrong," Mantili said. "I have gotten everything to make him poor and to cover the eyes of the people from favoring him." "I know you desire to make Tandime poor, but do you know that everything you have gotten will only last for 7 years? Because Tandime was born with a great destiny and nothing can hold him down for too long. If you make him poor and you cover the eyes of the people from seeing him, after 7 years, everything will fade away. But if you make Tandime blind, after everything fades away in 7 years, Tandime will be useless to himself and will continue to be poor. I can help you," the fish said. "Make him poor, make him blind." Mantili thought for a while and said, "You have a point. That is a great idea. I can make him blind so that even in his poverty, after everything fades away, he will continue to remain poor." "Give it to me. I want it," Mantili said. "I will give you," the fish answered him, "but I need something from you." "Anything, anything, anything," Mantili answered. "I want 20 years of your life." "Just 20 years?" Mantili asked. "You can have it. Just give me and make him blind." The fish gave him an egg, and immediately the egg touched his hand. Mantili fell into a deep sleep. After a while, he woke up feeling extremely weak. He felt his bones could no longer carry his body. But with determination, he kept on dragging himself all through the forest. "I must deal with my brother." Finally, he got to the end of the forest, and with joy he was happy. Victory at last! I have ended my quest. As soon as Mantili stepped out of the forest, he was surprised. Everywhere had changed. He saw different kinds of animals walking on 4 legs, but they were made from irons and they were moving very fast. He saw some strange animals moving on 2 legs too, but they drove very fast. He looked up and saw an iron holding a small son. It was a street light, but Mantili didn't understand any of these things. The village he left had changed in the 60 years that Mantili was in the forest on his quest for vengeance. Afraid and uncertain, he started walking on the road. He couldn't locate his father's house anymore. And then suddenly he saw a young boy and he asked him, "My son, please come closer. What is happening? Everywhere is changed. I am looking for Tandime's compound. Do you know who Tandime is?" The boy answered, "Oh, you mean the great Tandime family? Yes, I will direct you to their mansion." The young man directed him to a particular street, and with fear and uncertainty, Mantili kept on walking into the street. The ground was black and shining. It was different from the red sand soil that he used to march on the ground. There were no trees. There were no animals roaming the streets. Mantili was confused. Finally, he got to a house and stood there for a while. He didn't know what to do, and he began to call for help. "Who is here? Who is here? Who is here?" he answered, and suddenly 2 young men dressed in suits came out and asked, "Who would you want to see, old man?" When they called him old man, he looked at himself. It was then it dawned on him that he had wasted 60 years of his life in a quest to deal with his brother. He was now old, weak, and grey. He looked at them and said, "I am looking for my brother, Tandime." "Oh," they answered, "are you Grandpa Mantili? We heard of your story. Our grandfather, Tandime, always told us about his younger brother who walked away and never returned. Are you Grandpa Mantili? So good to see you, Grandpa. So good to see you, Grandpa." It was a hard time for Mantili to understand what they were saying. He sat down on the ground weeping. He had wasted his life on a quest for vengeance. "Where is my brother?" he asked. "Oh, Grandpa Tandime, he died several years ago." Mantili looked at the sky. Even Tandime, his brother he wanted to deal with, had lived a fulfilled life on earth and had passed on to glory. He wept, and there was no one to console him. "I sought vengeance, but in the process I ruined my life."